Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great weekend overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. Had a great weekend with the wifey, man, just being out of town. You feel what I'm saying? Had a little short trip or whatever the case is, visiting family and all that. You feel me? But I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. You feel what I'm saying? Shakur versus Zepeda, Matias versus Puello, Berlanga versus Sheeraz, and the return of David Morrell all in one night, man. You cannot make this shit up. We got a lot to talk about, man. But before I get into that, happy Easter. On the day of Easter, we hit 2,800 subscribers. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. You feel what I mean? Can't complain at all, man. Everything is going extremely well. You feel what I mean? Can't really complain at all, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. If y'all can hit the like button and get the algorithm on the up so that people know that Mazuma TV is live, that'd be very much appreciated, man. Shout out to Stop Motion MMA. What's going on, brother? I ain't see you in a minute. What's going on? I hope all is well with you. Coffee Plant, what up? Marissa, how you doing, Marissa? Lorenzo, all the way from Japan. John Cena smoked that jabroni Cody Rhodes. Damn, that's what happened? Oh, okay. John Cena old ass put the torch to him, huh? He turned back the clock on some Pacquiao Thurman shit, huh? Justin Jackson, what up? Great Gambino. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Like my boy Rolly say, Happy Easter, everyone. Shout out to my boy Rolly Romero. Happy Easter, everyone. Nigga concussed as hell. Happy Easter. It's like, no, that's not funny, yo. Terry Scott, what up? He said, what the fuck? I didn't even know that this was a card. All right, well, since you didn't, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to inform you, my brother, and have a great conversation afterwards. So we definitely going to talk about that. Big 2,800, absolutely. And we on the road to 3K as always. Like I've been saying. We going to hit that 3K mark before we know it, man. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna be able to ignore us much longer. You feel me? Stop Motion MMA says, I don't think highly of Berlanga, but I think he beat Sheeraz. Interesting. We definitely gonna talk about it. Happy 420. My guy Petit said happy 420. It's funny as hell. I remember that was really like a holiday in high school. Niggas used to be blowing that shit down. See what I'm saying? My boy Garfield saying what up too. You know what I mean? My boy Garfield saying what up. AKA Simba. You feel me? Berlanga is the fucking headline. That's disrespectful. Hey, man. I don't know what they thinking, bro. I don't know. But you know what I think it is more than anything, man? Y'all got to think about it. This is a Riyadh season card. And Hamza Sheeraz, from what I understand, is an ambassador of Riyadh season. So I guess he prioritizes the guys who are ambassadors for Riyadh season. This is a Riyadh season card. Hamza Sheeraz is a brand ambassador. She attacked you?
Yeah.
Fucking bitch. And because of that, he probably looking out, doing him a favor. I don't think it got to do much with Berlanga. I think it got everything to do with Hamza Sheeraz just being an ambassador for the business. You feel me? That's what I personally believe. But regardless, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Denitric Banner, what up, baby? Salute to Denitric Banner, one of the biggest supporters of the channel. Thank you very much. J Cash, what up? Dangerous Desire Bullies. Anonymous saying they thinking about Puerto Rican Day weekend. Berlanga versus Matias on the same event. Oh, well, let me see. What's the date for that? Let me see. Hold on. Fuck. I got the shit in my thumbnail. Like, what are we talking about? Wait. Hit the like button. Absolutely. Hit the likes. It says July 12th in New York City. I thought, hold on. Marissa, shout out to Marissa. Stop Motion MMA says, you right, Sheeraz. Sheeraz is Turkey Muslim brother. He one of his favorites. They trying to set him up to fight Canelo next September. I wouldn't be surprised. I would really not be surprised, bro. I've been noticing that Turkey really like he has his favorites, bro. He definitely got his favorites. And I think that if you're a brand ambassador for Riyadh season, you're gonna get there's some perks that come along with just receiving career high paydays. I also think that you're put in a position where you're headlining events as well. You feel what I'm saying? That's just what I personally believe. Yeah, I mean, but what's let me see. Is July 12th Puerto Rican Day weekend in New York? I thought it was like September, and Philly is September. The 2025 Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York City would take place June 8th. Yeah, so that don't match up. It's the second I think it's the second Sunday of June. In Philly, it's the last Sunday of September. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that makes sense. But anyways, that's why I think that headline's going on. But let's actually let's talk about this a little bit more, man. Let's bring up the articles. You feel what I mean? Shout out the Source of Boxing. They brought the news over from Ring Magazine. And according to let's bring this up right here. Come on. Damn, they putting out a whole lot of news shit. Damn, where the hell is that? Okay. This is Ring Magazine. Ring Magazine 3 will take place July 12th in New York City with Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Sheeraz, and a WBC super middleweight title eliminator. So this is the situation right here. WBC super middleweight title eliminator. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez is a WBC super middleweight champion of the world. So basically, who wins this fight between Hamza Sheeraz and Edgar Berlanga is going to be put in a good position, or at least in a solid position where either Edgar Berlanga is going to get a rematch with Canelo, which he's been saying for a good amount of time now. Berlanga saying, I'm going to get that rematch with Canelo. I'm going to get that rematch with Canelo. And it seems like they put in the chess pieces in place in order to do so. Hamza Sheeraz, on the other hand, he's looking to get an opportunity against Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has signed a deal with Riyadh season. He's a Riyadh season ambassador. So he's putting himself in a position where, he may rightfully deserve a shot at Canelo Alvarez. That's what it looks like to me. Along with that, Shakur Stevenson is defending his WBC lightweight title versus William Zepeda. Mike Coppinger has learned. So now we got Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda. I had made a video about it. My latest video on the channel is talking about William Zepeda finally coming out of hiding to face Shakur Stevenson. And we're going to talk about that as well. Are we doing the fight picks yet? We could definitely do that. Let's do that. But let's finish off this article. Albert Puello, the man who just successfully defeated Sandor Martin in a close fight, will defend his WBC junior welterweight title versus Subriel Matias. So it seems like Subriel Matias has, got rid of the IBF. I guess he walked away from, the IBF route after becoming the number one guy. He's going on to face the WBC champion of the world. Great fight. Dangerous fight for Matias, but a great fight. And I'm going to tell you why this is a fight that Subriel Matias needs to win. And David Morrell is returning to fight the undefeated Imam Katiev on the undercard. So we're seeing the return of David Morrell. He making a quicker turnaround to David Benavidez. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what David Morrell brings to the table, man. Maybe he done learned something. You know what I mean? Maybe he got a fire lit under him. And he looking to get it done. The Supercard will be available exclusively on DAZN. This event will celebrate the launch of the Ring Magazine's forthcoming TV show, Inside of the Ring. Shout out to Mike Coppinger for reporting that news. So that's a hell of a card right there, man. So let's talk about this card from top to bottom. You feel what I'm saying? Let's start with the top one, the supposed main event. And it's going to be Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Sheeraz. Now, Hamza Sheeraz came off of a controversial victory against Carlos Adames. Wait, was that a draw? Wait, what was that? He didn't beat Adames, right? Hold on, I think that was a draw. Come on, bake me up. Yeah, that was a split draw. You feel what I'm saying? So I personally believe Carlos Adames thought he schooled Hamza Sheeraz. Hamza Sheeraz just didn't look like himself. And from what I heard, he had some type of injuries and stuff like that. And that's what plagued his performance against Carlos Adames. Then I'm hearing that, he's making the move up to super middleweight. So might have been some weight issues, might have been some injuries. I don't know what the case was, but it wasn't the best performance from Hamza Sheeraz that I've seen in previous fights. Because prior to, the decision and the performance, I actually thought Hamza Sheeraz was going to come out victorious in that fight against Carlos Adames. So a bit of a disappointing performance in all honesty, but he's jumping straight into the smoke at super middleweight. Edgar Berlanga, he's not the best super middleweight in the world, in my opinion. You feel what I mean? But at the same time, Edgar Berlanga done faced Canelo Alvarez. He's a big boy. He's packing a fucking punch. Good killer instinct. Got some decent hand speed as well. Explosive. So Hamza Sheeraz is coming into the division with no type of tune-up. He going straight into the smoke. Shout out to the boy Dangerous Desire Bullies with the $5 super chat. He said, check my dummy session for dummies. Short. Almost 50 is still quick. Good work. You're my go-to late nights. Shout out to my boy Dangerous Desire Bullies, man. Y'all heard him. Go ahead and check out his dummy session for dummy short. My boy talking about he 50 and still quick, man. God bless you, brother, man. I appreciate you coming on and supporting the channel. Go check out Dangerous Desire Bullies short, man. I don't know, my man. What you showing? You showing the foot? What type of quickness? We talking about the hands? We talking about the feet? We talking about the upper body movement? What we talking about, man? Y'all gotta let me know what that is. You feel what I'm saying? What we talking about, man? Let me know what it is. Dangerous Desire Bullies, man. Salute for coming through and showing love, man. Shout out to the OGs out here. You know what I mean? Oh shit, them niggas. What the hell? What the hell? God damn. StreamYard out here hating and shit, but shout out to the boy Dangerous Desire Bullies for the super chat, man. He always coming through and showing love. You feel what I'm saying? Lucky Trops. I think Lucky Trops. I'm gonna say Lucky Trops. He said, you think David Morrell could beat Canelo? He has tools. He has some good tools, but I do think that despite him fighting David Benavidez, he is a bit inexperienced. I think what David Morrell needs more than anything is the proper matchmaking, man. Like I told you guys before he even faced David Benavidez that he was I'm telling y'all, like he was a bit overmatched in terms of experience, and there was a lot of things that Morrell hasn't really experienced in the ring, and his opponent selection up to David Benavidez was kind of shaky. You feel me? So yeah, I don't think he could beat Canelo at this point in time, but the more experience that he piles on and stuff like that, he'll be in a better position. Canelo only getting older, so I hope that answers your question. But when is Diego Pacheco fighting again? I'm not sure. I believe he's supposed to be fighting Trevor McCumbee or some shit like that, right? Let me see. Before we get back into the picks, I think he's supposed to be fighting Trevor McCumbee, which is a good fight, but I think Diego steps on him. That's what I think. But anyways, let's get back to the picks, man. Shout out to the super chats, of course. I gotta stop what I'm doing for that. But anyways, Hamza Sheeraz, Smoochie, what up? Hamza Sheeraz is coming into 168 against a full-fledged 168. Edgar Berlanga be walking around at, he be coming in, fight night 190 plus pounds, coming in a whole cruiserweight. You feel what I'm saying? So Hamza gonna have his hands full. You know what I mean? And he was tall and rangy for the middleweight division, but I think it's gonna be a little bit different because Edgar Berlanga not small himself, and he got some range on him too. Pause. You feel what I'm saying? So this is gonna be a challenge for Hamza Sheeraz. I think he's the more intelligent fighter. I think he has the better skills. but Edgar Berlanga does possess some game-changing power, heavy hands. You feel what I mean? Not that intelligent. He can get cracked. He can get dropped. So he is a beatable guy. We've seen it happen. We've seen him get dropped by lower level guys. We've seen him get dropped against, the elite level guy at 168 pounds. You feel what I mean? So this is going to be a tough bout for Hamza Sheeraz, but maybe he'll feel rejuvenated at 168. Maybe that extra 8 pounds is what he needs in order to sustain fighting at a high level. You feel what I mean? Only him and God know whether he was really struggling with the weight or not. But this is a tough fight. But if he beats Edgar Berlanga, if he's able to hand Edgar Berlanga his second L, that might make him a strong candidate for Canelo Alvarez. And, everybody looking for that payday. You feel me? So, shit. Anonymous said, I got Hamza whooping Berlanga. Really? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Berlanga's gonna. I think he's gonna be a little bit of trouble for Hamza, man. I don't know. Hamza just need to be keeping him at a distance. He better not try to trade with Berlanga. He better not, because he gonna go out like that last nigga. Man, this is tough. You said Mark gonna root for Berlanga? Not really, because I don't want to see Berlanga fight Canelo again. I don't. Who did he get dropped by other than Canelo? What's his name? Like Marcelos or some shit like that. What was that dude name that dropped him? I forgot his name. Mexican dude put him on his back pockets. It was Marcelo Coceres. Marcelo Coceres. Says, who has Berlanga KO besides Scrubs? He literally went the distance with Journeyman. That's a fact. I'm just saying, in terms of, Hamza Sheeraz is going up to a different weight class. You feel what I'm saying? He's going up to a different weight class. Bigger guys, they punch harder. They punch resistance is greater typically. You know what I mean? It's always tough when you moving up in weight, bro, because you going up from you going against dudes at 160 that's probably boiling down from 180 to 185 to guys at 168 that's boiling down from 200 to 195. You know what I mean? 200. That shit. I swear David Benavidez, was probably coming down 200 plus to make 168. Berlanga looked like he be walking around with 200 and look complete and still look in shape. Like, these guys are a little bit bigger. They punching a little bit harder. They could take a better punch. You feel what I'm saying? So it's different variables going up. Each time you go up in weight, it gets a little bit more difficult to get these guys up off you. So I understand. I understand that, Hamza Sheeraz has the skill set. You know what I mean? He has what it takes to defeat Berlanga, absolutely. And that's probably why Riyadh season is setting this shit up, because they feel like they have what it takes in order to beat Berlanga. They see a lot of holes in his game. He got a whole lot of holes in his game. Let's not get it wrong. But, there's a lot of questions that Hamza Sheeraz has shown his worth at 160 pounds. But there's people that they perform at a high level in one weight class, and they don't provide, and they don't operate at that same level in a different weight class. I'm just saying. I'm not doubting them. Justin Jackson says, do you think Shakur should have been the main event, or it doesn't matter? This is what I think about it. If Shakur don't give a fuck, why should I? If Shakur Stevenson is agreeing to be the co-main event, why are we complaining? You are worth what you negotiate, right? And Shakur all happy. He was just saying how this is the biggest payday he ever got in his entire career. And he fought Josh Padley on the undercard of Bivol and Better Beef. He didn't give a fuck, so why should we? If Shakur ain't complaining, why are we complaining? You feel me? If they being compensated what they feel they worth, you know what I mean? They getting the opponents that they want. What is there to complain about? What is there to complain about, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, we get in the fights. So we get in the fights that we want, but now we over here criticizing who should be the man. Bro, who gives a fuck? I wouldn't give a fuck if this motherfucker Shakur was on the prelims. You feel me? Like I don't care. I don't care as long as I see the fights. Them, like I said, and I've seen fans complain about what networks these guys fight on. Oh man, they about to fight. Man, they about to fight on this network. Why they gonna fight? They was complaining about Devin Haney possibly fighting on BLK. Bro, I don't give a fuck. That man, Devin Haney could fight on Nickelodeon. I wouldn't care as long as I see it. As long as I'm capable of seeing it with my eyes, and as long as that network is playing off of my fucking TV screen, my laptop, my phone, whatever. What am I complaining for? As a boxing fan, I'm getting what I want. So it's the same thing. Like I say the same thing about music. You know what I'm saying? Like artists in the music industry. You know what I mean? Oh, why this artist only got 10 songs on his album? Whole time the artist only wanted 10 songs on the album. So I'm pro artist. I'm pro boxer. Whatever the boxer feel is best for his career and it actually benefits the sport of boxing and I get to see the best fights, there's nothing for me to complain about. You feel me? So you got Hamza over Berlanga. It's a good one. Let me see. Kyron Davis. They said Kyron Davis with 12-0 Berlanga. God damn. Hamza already a big 160. I think him moving up will make him better. And Berlanga is not this good fighter. His resume is comparable to prospects outside of the Canelo fight. That's a fact. That's been one of the biggest criticisms of Edgar Berlanga. This man has fought relatively nobody and automatically jumped into a huge opportunity. And I was blaming Canelo for it for the most part, but the fact still remains Edgar Berlanga's resume is shit. And that's why I criticize him a lot when he go around calling himself a star. I'm like, bro, you calling yourself a star because you fought on one pay-per-view event and you got 12-0. You only sell inside New York. You don't sell anywhere else. You didn't have a paper trail in terms of like pay-per-view event selling pay-per-views. Like, what are we even talking about? You feel me? But hey, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna let the fight get a little bit closer. But that's a good fight. Berlanga and Hamza Sheeraz is a good fight. And if Berlanga is the bum that the chat is saying that he is, then Hamza Sheeraz should have a great performance. I'm just speaking from an objective point of view right now. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. Woo! Okay. This is a good one right here, man. Not in terms of styles or anything like that, but I'm gonna tell you why. William Zepeda finally grew some balls. You know what I'm saying? He finally done came out of hiding. He's finally about to about to face the man that he's been avoiding for a little bit of time, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. It seemed like there was a little bit of duck sauce in the air. You know what I mean? I was calling out William Zepeda for avoiding the Shakur Stevenson fight for a good amount of time. I heard Coach Panther not being too optimistic about it. I heard I heard a lot of things. Oscar De La Hoya saying that they wasn't gonna be forced to fight anybody, because they was ranked in every sanctioning body and he's that badass and all this crazy shit, right? And then I noticed that, they didn't fight Shakur Stevenson the one time, but then I noticed they was fighting Tevin Farmer, and I was like, that's so random. Like, why would they give Tevin Farmer an opportunity? They don't need to fight him and fuck up their rankings and put their they rank in Jeopardy and all this shit. I was like, why would they do that? Then I started to really think about both of these guys and Tevin Farmer and Shakur Stevenson and what they bring to the table. And I'm like, yo, they not identical in terms of styles. Shakur Stevenson is much better than Tevin Farmer, in my opinion. But they share some similarities. They got some things in common. They're not the same, but they got some things in common. And obviously what it is, they're both athletic, slick, good lateral movement. You know what I'm saying? Like slippery defensive boxers. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, hold up. Zepeda might really just be testing the waters right now to see how he may fare against somebody like Shakur Stevenson. So he's sampling or at least trying out a similar style in Tevin Farmer to see how well he'll do. And in the first fight, there's a lot of people who thought Farmer did enough to pull it off. You feel me? So they was like, oh man, I can only imagine what Shakur do to him, blah, blah, blah. So then he runs it back with Tevin Farmer, which I thought was pretty smart on Zepeda and Golden Boy's behalf because it's just giving them more preparation for the ultimate Shakur Stevenson fight. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that they did this strategically in order to, be as prepared for Shakur as possible. Golden Boy has a track record of doing this. And I brought up the example on the previous video of when Canelo Alvarez was moving up the middleweight and, in the process of getting a fight done with Triple G. Canelo Alvarez never went up against somebody like Triple G, up to that point in his career. So he wanted to face somebody who was big, strong, powerful, like Triple G. And what was the closest thing they could fight at the time? Chavez Jr. Now, that ended up backfiring because Chavez Jr. laid an egg like he always does, and how he's about to with Jake Paul. But, it gave Canelo an idea of what to expect going up against a strong power puncher at middleweight. You feel me? So, yeah. So that was that. Golden Boy, they did their best to get Zepeda ready for Shakur Stevenson. They tried out Tevin Farmer a couple times. It seemed like Zepeda, I thought he did better in the second fight in comparison to the first one. But man, even though they got them 2 fights in with Tevin Farmer, I still think that is not enough to prepare for somebody on the level of a Shakur Stevenson. The biggest difference in what's gonna fuck Zepeda over in this fight is them underestimating Shakur Stevenson from an offensive perspective. I think that Shakur Stevenson, all right, he's not the biggest puncher. He's not. He's not a knockout artist like a Deontay Wilder or a Gervonta Davis or anything like that. You feel what I'm saying? But one thing that Shakur Stevenson has on his side, and I say this all the time, one thing that he has on his side that's just as dangerous as as a power puncher is his precision, his accuracy, and how well he places them body shots, man. You see what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson, one of the most underappreciated things about his game is knowing how masterful he is at placing punches, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And with somebody like Zepeda who comes in reckless and leaves a lot of openings due to his high output type of style, I think that'll leave Shakur Stevenson with a lot of openings to really punish Zepeda up top or to the body. Zepeda, he got dropped by a Tevin Farmer. Why? Because he got caught with a beautiful left hand coming in, completely abandoning his defense. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what the comments talking about. But I think this is going to be a massive display of boxing by Shakur Stevenson, not only from a defensive aspect, but from an offensive aspect as well. I think he's going to really dominate Zepeda. And I feel like they know that as well, and that's why they've been avoiding it for as long as they've been avoiding it. Because as a contender, why wouldn't you want to face the WBC champion right away if the opportunity presents itself? Because they didn't feel like they was properly prepared for the moment. But considering they faced Tevin Farmer back to back and they feel like they figured out that puzzle, they probably on their side feeling like this is a similar puzzle to figure out. So they coming in a little confident, but I think they'll find out right away that the puzzles are completely different. You feel me? That's what I personally believe. Style Motion says Zepeda pressure gonna be a problem. Shakur has never seen this type of output. But the thing, Style Motion, I understand what you're saying. Output could definitely be an issue for Shakur because considering the fact that Shakur doesn't throw a lot of punches, especially against like aggressive power punchers. But at the same time, is Cepeda's output going to play that much of a factor if he cannot find the range to establish his offense? Shakur Stevenson is a master of understanding how close or how far his opponents are. You know what I'm saying? And I think with him being a master of distance, his opposition becomes hesitant because they feel like no matter what they throw or how, even if they feel like they close, Shakur makes them miss by a centimeter. And that's very discouraging. I don't know if you guys have ever been in there with guys who were very like sharp defensively or had like cat-like reflexes, but if you're the aggressor, you coming forward and you throwing everything you can and you can't land on this guy to save your life. It's like they know the punch you're gonna throw before you throw it. That could be very discouraging, bro. Like, damn, why can't I can't hit this motherfucker? Now you get frustrated as a result. And from the frustration, mentally you start to fatigue. And because you mentally fatigue or physically, you start to feel drained as well. And the shit just goes downhill from there. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I think is gonna happen. I think Cepeda is gonna become real hesitant once he realizes he can't land at will on Shakur Stevenson. And I think Shakur is going to put on a great display of boxing. Why are we talking about what Cepeda did to Cabrera? Cabrera and Shakur are nothing alike. They bring completely different things to the table. So if you're using Cabrera from a point of reference, it's not a great reference, brother. And just because you lengthy don't mean you understand range well or distance well, or even mean that you could box. Look at Sebastian Fundora. Is he lengthy? Yes. Can he box? Fuck no. So we can't even. That's apples and oranges, bro. No disrespect, but that's not the greatest example, brother. I don't know if you was trying to say something the defense of Peter or what, but yeah, Beth Annual says Cepeda gonna find a difference between Farmer and Core. There's levels to this. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was my biggest criticism of Farmer was his defense and his offense are drastically different. Like his offense has no type of has no type of it doesn't match his defense. If Tevin Farmer was just as good offensively as he was defense off if hold on, let me rephrase this. I'm confusing myself. If Tevin Farmer was just as good offensively as he was defensively, he would be a nightmare for just about anybody in the ring, especially in his peak when he was on the zone and he was IBF champion. If he had the offense to match his defense, he would be a nightmare for anybody. That's the thing. Tevin can make you miss all day, but his energy ain't the same when it's time to make you pay. And I knew that's why he wouldn't beat JoJo Diaz. I told everybody and their mom that he cannot beat JoJo Diaz. JoJo had too much. At that time, JoJo was just he was a fucking machine. I seen him fight Gary Russell, and Gary Russell outclassed him, but JoJo really showed that he was a problem. I said, man, if JoJo Diaz could just get a fucking jab, he'd be a problem. And he didn't showcase a great jab against Tyler Farmer, but he just outworked him. Outworked him. Stop Motion said Farmer was out of his prime and he still damn near won the first fight. That's what everybody and their mom saying. And I don't agree with this, but I heard people think that Tevin Farmer edged the second fight too. I don't agree with that. I thought he let that fight go, honestly. But you know, some people saw it a different way than me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think about Shakur and Zepeda. You feel what I'm saying? So two great fights so far. I ain't gonna lie to you. Berlanga versus Hamza. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda. Been a long time coming. They've been trying to make that fight for probably a year plus already. You know what I'm saying? It says hopefully Shakur hands are good in July. Yeah, I keep hearing how Shakur talking about he want to rest his hands, but he keep taking these fight days as they come, so his hands can't be that bad. If Shakur not resting his hands, they must not be that bad. Because I highly doubt Shakur need money that bad. You feel me? I'm sure he said he made his career highest payday. He get into a bag. You know what I'm saying? So his hands can't be that bad. Can't be. Ralphie Ray Goza, what up? He says, will the Shakur Cepeda fight kind of look like the Boot Stanionis fight? If it's not a good comparison, then what do you think the fight might look like? Um, no, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like Boots Stanionis. I see what you trying to get at, but Shakur isn't as authoritative like Boots. He's not as aggressive as Boots. He's not gonna take the chances like Boots does. You know, uh Boots isn't a defensive fighter. He's an offensive fighter that has defense. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of a difference. Like Shakur is defense first. You know, Jerron Ennis is a fucking killer, bro. With some sound defense to go along with it, if you feel what I'm saying. So I don't think that's how it's gonna go. Shakur Cepeda probably gonna look like if I had to put a John on it, I'm gonna say, mm, that shit probably gonna look like, you know what that shit might look like? That shit might look like Floyd Mayweather versus Robert Guerrero. Y'all remember that fight? When Floyd, man, that was one of Floyd's easiest bags, boy. But yeah, he had Robert Guerrero was throwing everything he could. He couldn't touch Floyd. He could not touch Floyd, bro. And Floyd was just cracking him. Boom, bang. I was like, damn. I was like, yo, this nigga wilding. Floyd stunned it all up. I doubt the fight will be like that one sided, but I'm expecting Shakur at the same time to dominate. Yeah, I don't believe nothing that Rick Glacier say. That motherfucker need a colon cleanse. Nigga will be walking around bloated as hell. How you skinny up top with that big ass belly, bro? You need to go check your colon or something, bro. You know what I mean? You need to get them herbal supplements and get all that shit out your system. Your colon backed up, brother. You got a lot of toxins in you. That's probably why you so miserable talking shit on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my wife is black and she makes some good old collard greens. So you a fat, unhealthy, racist bastard. You feel what I'm saying? Shakur Valdez part two. Shit. It might just go like that. It might just go like that. You feel what I'm saying? DOG 215, what up? Yeah, Rick Glacier, he a big weirdo. I don't listen to nothing he be saying. You know what I mean? The type of hate he spewed towards black people is pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. Did I see Josh Padley stop his op? Yeah, I did. Yeah, Josh Padley whooped that boy ass. He was a 13-0 too. I saw that. I did not watch Charles Conwell's fight. I was away, so I wasn't able to sit down and watch. But I saw that it was a split decision. You know what I mean? That definitely takes Charles Conwell a few steps back. But he he's talented. You know what I mean? He a problem. He could bounce back. So let's get to the next one, y'all. Let's get into the next bout, which this I gotta see this, bro. This is a fucking stylistically, this is a fucking banger, bro. And that's Albert Puello, the WBC junior welterweight champion of the world, who just came off victorious against Shandor Martin, beat Gary Antoine Russell. Before that, he's going up against Subriel Matias, man. This is a fucking incredible fight. A fight that I did not see coming, in all honesty. You would have never told me. If you would have had me guess what two 140s were gonna fight each other on this card, I would have never thought that it would have been these two. You know what I mean? I might have mentioned Puello, I might have mentioned Subriel, but there was no way I was going to be able to predict that there was these two fighting. But I love it. I love it, bro. This is a dangerous fight for both guys. And I could really make a case to you how both of these guys can win. You feel what I'm saying? This is a must fight. This is a must win fight for Subriel, though. You know what I mean? This is a this is a must win fight for Subriel. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Subriel is already avoided as it is. You feel what I'm saying? Came up short in one fight. He avenged that win. He avenged that loss. Then he goes and he loses to Liam Paro in Puerto Rico, which was a disappointing performance in all honesty. And since then, he's been trying to bounce back. Liam Paro came up short against Richardson Hitchens. Hitchens is currently the IBF junior welterweight champion of the world. And Subriel just made himself the number one guy for the IBF. But Richardson Hitchens is refusing to acknowledge Subriel as a possible opponent. Instead, he's setting his sights on a George Kambosos, which we all know is bullshit, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we were all hoping and waiting that the IBF make some type of mandatory, but I guess Subriel got an offer that he could not refuse. So now he's taking the WBC route. I'm sure Richardson Hitch is somewhere pop locking, celebrating. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker over here, doing the pop locking like this. Oh, that nigga, he's somewhere. That nigga getting drunk for the first time somewhere down New York. He had a motherfucking club in Brooklyn right now getting lit because he ain't got to worry about Subriel no more. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Look, man. Subriel needs to win this fight because if he wins this fight, there's no way on God's green earth that these guys are gonna be able to avoid him. Like Hitchens can't be talking about unifying the division and not mention Subriel's name. But if Subriel comes up short against Albert Puello, that allows guys like Richardson Hitchens to walk out the door without facing any type of criticism for ducking Subriel. You feel what I'm saying? So Subriel needs to have the training camp of his life, man. He needs to be focused and he needs to understand how important this is for his career. If he fumbles this fight right here, it's going to be very difficult to climb back into another world title fight, bro. I know you got some good people behind you, got some money behind you, fresh productions, all that good shit, but you need this win under your belt. And Albert Puello is a fucking monster in his own right. You feel what I mean? I can see, with Albert Puello, he's not the biggest puncher, but he's a great counter puncher, man. You feel what I'm saying? He's a great counter puncher. And Subriel really relies on his pressure and his conditioning to ultimately break guys down. You know what I mean? Subriel has heavy hands, but he's not like that one punch knockout artist either. He basically wears you out and beats you into submission. You feel what I mean? But Albert Puello has the counter punching ability where it may be difficult for Subriel to keep the momentum running consistently in order to break him down. You feel what I'm saying? Like Subriel, he likes to, once he gets a little bit confident, he start walking to you with his hands down and he not coming in with no jab. That'll be a huge mistake to somebody like, Albert Puello, because they punching combinations that completely, can throw off your momentum. So Subriel, for the most part, but then on the other hand, because Puello don't got the biggest pop behind his punches, Subriel could probably walk to him with a high guard, start ripping the body, and probably make Puello fight at a pace that he's not comfortable at, slowing down, breaking down in the later rounds. I don't know if
Puello's been in there with pressure fighters, so he may be well prepared for this one. But the pressure with the heavy hands and the relentless, the relentless attack along with the body shots, he Puello could win this, but he's gonna go through some hell in order to get there, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? But I think it's a 50-50 fight. I can't really call it, but I'm really, really pushing for Matias to win this fight right here. You know what I mean? Not just because he Puerto Rican. That's a reason, but that's not the only reason. You know what I mean? I feel like Morrell has been avoided for a long time. Uh, I think he's been avoided for a long time, and I think that he's deserving of like those big fights at 140. You know what I mean? I really want to see him in there amongst the best guys. You feel what I mean? And I think this is his opportunity to get that shit done. So hopefully he lock in, he train as hard as he can, and he comes out victorious. But Albert Puello ain't no joke, and just as well that just as easy as Subrel could get the victory, Puello can as well. So it's really gonna come down to who wants it more, who establishes themselves first, and who's more consistent with their game plan. More consistent at doing what they do. Who's more effective, at doing what they do. Who's gonna be is Puello's counterpunching ability gonna overthrow Matias' pressure and volume, or is Matias' pressure and volume gonna be too much for the mere counterpunching ability of Albert Puello? It's interesting. You feel what I'm saying? Subrel can't be coming in with no single punches because Puello he gonna he gonna brace himself and then he gonna shoot four hot shots right down the pipe. And you gotta pause. You gotta be ready for that type of shit. You know. Said Puello has struggled against pressure before the Antoine Akhmedov and Sandor fights. Great point. This is a great fight, y'all. This is a great fight right here. I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna be the one that I'm really excited to see. You feel what I'm saying? Shakur and Zepeda, that definitely got my attention as well. But you could also make a case that what's so interesting about those victories too. I think anonymous. I could be wrong, but I think those were all split decisions that just went in Puello's favor. You feel me? Like I think Antoine was a split that could have went either way. I I'm sorry, Akhmadov. I remember seeing that fight. That was a split as well. And then Sandor Martin, that was a split. Stop Moses said Puello robbed Sandor. Nah, I mean we can't say Puello robbed him. You can say the judges did, but Puello not in control what the judges say. But I think those were all split decision. I could be wrong, but looking back, I think those were all split decision wins. Correct me if I'm wrong, yo. So that's interesting. Mm, yeah. So look, man. I thought Sandor beat Puello as well. So this gonna be a good one right here, boy. If Matias, oh my god, if Matias stops Puello, bro, that shit gonna send 140. That's gonna be a huge message sent out to 140, bro. Puello not having the biggest crack might fuck him over too. Him not having like big power, Matias might walk through him. Yeah, Matias can't play with this dude, bro. He better not put on that Leon Paro type performance. That shit ain't gonna cut it. He gonna have to really get in his bag with this one, bro. But great fight. So let's go over to the next one. I can't really speak too much about David Morrell's opponent. I'm just happy to see David Morrell back in the building. I love the fact that he ain't letting that loss against Benavidez discourage him and keep him out the ring for 1 or 2 years because he going through it mentally. I like to see Dave Morrell shake off the loss, learn from it, and get back in the mix. And apparently, he's getting in there with somebody by the name of Imam Katiev. Am I saying that right? Let me see. Let's check him out. He's from Mother Russia. Okay. He's 10-0 with 9 knockouts. Okay. Okay. He beat an 11-0, 4-0, 14-5. I mean, I don't see anybody credible in all honesty, but say he fighting June 5th. I guess that's chalk. We're saying a mile fighting June 5th. I guess that's chalk. But anyways, I can't really speak too much about that. I'm just happy to see Morrell back. Ralph says I think Matias beats Puello. Morrell going to ice him. Ooh-wee. I don't like to really judge fighters before they step in the ring, or if I haven't seen any film of them. I get a better assessment after watching them fight. You said I seen Morrell opponent fight before he made for Morrell. Oh, so he tailor made for Morrell. That's what you're saying? Stop motion. One thing about Kamatov is he is a pressure fighter with power, one of the better prospects. If Morrell don't got to look for you though, it's kind of easy for. I'm not gonna say easy, but you're making it easier for him. Unless you like David Benavidez, where you, bro. By the way, bro, last night I went back and watched Benavidez and Morrell, bro. That shit was so lit, bro. I was getting hyped like it was my first time watching it. Like, bro, that was such a fucking lit fight, bro. I love that fight right there, bro. That shit was crazy. But yeah, man. So that's probably the biggest news that done came out. Since I haven't been live and stuff like that. We got 33 people in the building, man. Hit the likes. Hit the likes. Let's get the algorithm on the up so the people know that Mazuma TV is live. We hit 2,800, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and have been supporting the channel. You feel what I mean? We got an additional 2 subscribers since then, man. Salute to everybody that's showing love, man. We definitely on the up, you heard? But man, it's a great fucking fight, right? This is a great card. Shout out to Turkey Al Sheik, man. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of people that's been criticizing Turkey Al Sheik, including myself, but you gotta give props when it's due, man. If you're doing great shit for the sport and you helping move the culture forward, I salute you. Whether I had disagreements about what you've done in the past or not, if you're contributing to the sport, I salute you because that's all I really want to see. I want to see the sport of boxing be as great as it should be and not be held up by politics and, you know, fucking snakes and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? I go back and rewatch fights all the time. But it all depends on what mood I'm in, man. I like to go back and watch old fights. I like to go back and rewatch a lot of Tito Trinidad fights. And I like to watch Oscar De La Hoya old fights. Um, I watch Super Matias old fights if I want to see something entertaining. Uh, Earl Spence. I watch old Bud fights. I was just watching Bud versus Victor Postal the other day. I was watching Jerron Ennis and Mondo Alvarez the other day because that was great memories. I helped them out for that camp. Um, Julian Williams versus Jared Hurd. I watch a lot. I watch a lot of fights, y'all. I like to watch a lot of old shit. You feel me? I like to watch old fights. I was watching Tank versus Jesus Cuellar. Um, I liked how the way Tank was disciplined and he was ripping to the body. The precision was on point in that performance. I like that performance from Tank. Matias and Puello came out of left field. That's what I was saying, bro. That's what I was saying. Like it was a fight that I didn't anticipate ever getting made. But I'm glad it got made because stylistically, it's a fucking great fight. Shakur did not fire Jay Prince, brothers and sisters. That's not true. Dan Rayfield has he don't know how to use commas or periods. So if you reread it, you would see that Jay Prince did not get fired. And I don't think Jay Prince is just somebody you fire, by the way. Go ahead and ask Floyd how that shit went when he tried to do that back in the day. I want to know what's going on with Shakur and Eddie. Yeah, I heard Shakur left Eddie. I don't listen. I don't know how the way the contract was set up, but obviously he had the right to leave whenever he chose to. So maybe Shakur just signed with him because he just grabbed some easy bags real quick, or maybe he realized that he don't need Eddie Hearn in order to get these big fights popping. All he need is Turkey. You ever think of that? Maybe Shakur just cutting out the middleman. If you could go straight to the boss, right? If you got a direct line to the plug, then why the fuck you need to talk to any middleman to get any business done? Why do I need to sign with Eddie Hearn? Maybe Shakur Stevens' intention was to use Eddie Hearn to get close to Turkey Al-Sheikh. You ever think about that? All right. I don't really know Turkey Al-Sheikh all like that. Eddie Hearn do. You know what I mean? I'm gonna use Eddie Hearn as a way to get closer to Turkey Al-Sheikh. Once him and Turkey Al-Sheikh got on a one-on-one conversation type basis, maybe he was like, "Oh shit, why the fuck I need to cut this nigga a check, man? I could just cut him out the equation and just do business directly with this man. Why do I need to go to this man to talk to another man when I can just talk to the man personally?" Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened. Think about it. If you about to buy a car, if you looking to buy a car for somebody, and you got this one dude, you know what I mean, just looking to, sell the car for a few more hundred. Let's say the car up for 5,000 from the plug, like the nigga who actually owned the car selling it for 5,000, but we got the middleman right here trying to sell it for 5,500. Why would I talk to the nigga who wanted for 5,500 when I could get him out the way and talk directly to the boss? You know what I mean? Like, you cutting out the middleman. That's all you doing. It says he hired Lou DiBella though. Well, that's interesting. Did Shakur, that make me wonder whether Shakur was referring to the Towel Boy as Eddie Hearn. Was he talking about Eddie Hearn when he was referring to Towel Boys? I wonder what happened. I hope it wasn't a situation where Eddie Hearn was trying to scrape something off the top. I hope that's not the case. Like they just tried to do with Edwin De Los Santos, that Turkey gave Eddie a price to give Shakur, and Eddie gave him a lower amount. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all seen what happened with Edwin De Los Santos. He was like, "Oh, they only offer me 200K for Keyshawn. No, we offered you 400K. Who told you that?" Now he looking at his team like, "Who told? What the fuck happened?" So everybody looking at Samson all crazy. I hope that's not what happened with Eddie Hearn, where Turkey was like, "All right, we gonna give Shakur what we agreed on," and then Eddie go to Shakur and be like, "Yo, he only offering this much." And Shakur like, "Why they only offering this much, bro? We agreed to this price." You feel what I'm saying? But it look like a lot of motherfuckers. Look, man, like these, bro. Edgar Berlanga did like how many fights with Eddie Hearn and then dip. Subrel only did like one fight with Eddie, dip. Shakur only did one fight with Eddie, dip. Why are they all leaving Eddie? There's something going on. It's something that Eddie's doing that they're not fucking with. Or there's something that he's not doing that they feel like they don't need him. You don't think that's weird? That's three people that done left Eddie, and I'm sure there's probably more that I haven't mentioned. Shit ain't weird to y'all. I want to know the method. I want to know the purpose behind. Let's take a look at that report. They said Dan Rayfield reported it. He got me blocked on Twitter, so I can't. But I think I can still see their tweets. Hold on, where my phone at? Fuck my phone. Where the fuck my phone at? Eddie is a snake in a suit. That's interesting. All right, my phone right here. Let's check out this updated report. Because I think Dan Rayfield's move, man. I think Dan Rayfield's lack of punctuation created a lot of misunderstanding within the boxing community. So let's see. He got me blocked, but I can still see his shit. In reporting the July 12th card with Shakur Zepeda, sources with knowledge of specifics told me Shakur split from Matchroom. James Prince, his manager, has hired Lou DiBella as his promoter for the event to handle things on their behalf. So this don't look like he signed a multi-fight deal with DiBella neither. It just sounds like a one fight type deal where he's like, bro, just look over the promotional shit for me, make sure everything going well. So Shakur could just handle his shit as a fighter, and James Prince can handle his shit as a manager, because they all got different rules. So maybe they didn't like how the way Eddie Hearn was handling events. I don't know why else would they, if they fire one, like let's say, okay. This shit really got me thinking now, y'all. If they fire Eddie Hearn and replace him with another promoter, then it's apparent that there's something that Eddie Hearn was doing that they wasn't fucking with. They feel like he wasn't living up to his I guess he wasn't, holding up his end of the bargain. That's interesting. Now, Edgar Berlanga said he left Eddie, or he wasn't satisfied with what Eddie was doing, having him fight on Amber Williams undercard and shit like that. I don't know, bro. This is weird. What y'all think, y'all? Said Berlanga scared of Plant straight up. Hey, man. It look like Plant just gonna fight Charlo, bro. I don't think that Berlanga fight gonna happen anytime soon. I think Berlanga gonna end up fighting Munguia, to be honest. Munguia working with Riyadh, fucking Berlanga working with Riyadh now. They bound to clash. Eddie do snake shit. He just hide it with a smile on his face. Crazy. But if you peep, all these dudes be leaving Eddie, man. All the promoters are snakes, including Al Heyman. Al Heyman not a promoter, but I get what you're saying. You talking about them businessmen. Said Eddie might be bullshitting or something, or maybe there's some money issue. We don't have a definitive answer right now. We just speculating, but Eddie Hearn ain't the type to keep his mouth closed for too long. So we should hear something about tomorrow or sometime this week, because Eddie Hearn, that man just all quantity when it comes to interviews. Like he just lets them bitches drop by the dozen. So he don't like the he don't know how to hold his tongue. He whatever he feel, he just put it out there. So we'll see. And I'm sure Shakur, if he feel like Eddie say something he ain't gonna like, then he gonna speak out on it too. So the answer's gonna come out. Did I see the Ring Magazine interview with all the fighters? Yeah, I did. I thought that was dope, man. I thought that was dope. They was all getting into it. Barbosa, T.O., Dev, Ryan and Dev. Ryan's a fucking goofy because now his whole thing is he finally found like a little niche where like he can make himself sound innocent. He's like, oh man, so how did your brother knew that I was on steroids before they announced it? How he said he had a dream. Bro, Ryan, maybe they got suspicious. Maybe the Haney's got suspicious when you were doing interviews saying, what if boxing just had a league where everybody did steroids? Maybe they were a little suspicious when they seen you on camera using an illegal IV. Maybe they were suspicious when you had multiple masking agents in your system. Alcohol, marijuana. Admitting that you would like to see steroids in boxing. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe they were all talking about how suspicious you were coming across, and maybe the nigga had a dream about it. Regardless of what happened, bro, this dude really has like this victim's mentality. He has like this victim's complex in his brain where he just feels like he refuses to take accountability to the point where he makes his brain believe that everybody's doing him wrong. Oh, get the fuck out. Get out. Get the fuck out. Fucking kids, my nerves, boy. Shout out to Mike Tyson. Shout out to Mike Tyson. Shout out to Mike Tyson. It's final. Fucking kids get on my nerves, boy. They like kids, bro. But anyways. Yeah. But that's Ryan Garcia for you. Like, he refuses to believe that he has any wrongdoing in anything he does. He rather point the finger instead of just like, before I point a finger at a motherfucker, I ask myself what I did wrong. Ryan don't do that. Even if I know like I'm not wrong, I still always think to myself, how could I have handled this better? Ryan don't do that. He's an idiot. You feel me? So it is what it is. But before we get up out of here, man, let's get into some open boxing topics. What we talking about, man? What's on your mind? Y'all want to spin back to any of the old topics we was doing? What y'all want to talk about? Maybe he couldn't get the money. Most of the time, that's what it's about. Most of the time, it's about the money, or maybe, they feel like Eddie Hearn ain't doing his job well enough. A redemption arc. Rhino is on a fucking redemption arc. Merch. That's all on the core card. Who's merch? Breezy? I don't know who merch is. You talking about Mazuma merch? By the way, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Everybody refrain from ordering on MazumaMerch.com. Teespring is having some sort of shipping issue. A lot of delays with like shipping my merch. So I'm in the process of transitioning to another site that'll be able to provide that same service. So let's be a little patient with that. That's gonna take some time. But once I get that website on and popping, the merch gonna be back in business for sure. So temporarily, we gonna shut down Mazuma merch. So I need to take that banner down or at least edit it. Marky Dan, what up, baby? Do you think Ryan will be too big for Dev at 147? I mean, they both I don't think size is gonna be the difference. You know what I'm saying? In that fight. I think it's gonna be whether I think is Devin Haney gonna make the adjustments necessary to defeat Ryan. You know, you know what I noticed about Ryan too? He didn't look big in the media workouts. Anybody notice that? You see like how he looked like all fucking huge in like the Devin Haney press conferences and even the night of the fight, he looked big. We still gotta wait. You know what I mean? You could also say that, Ryan's more focused now and he's in a better, he's actually training, so his weight's coming off easier. It sound good. It sound good. But Ryan just don't look, he don't look the same. This is my observation. And did y'all see everybody glazing Ryan Garcia's workouts? What did he do that looked so sensational? Can somebody tell me? What did Ryan do in that pad when he did that pad work with Derek James, coon ass, and he was hitting the bag? What did he do that was so phenomenal? What did he do? Can somebody please tell me? Because I'm hearing Sergio Moore. Yo, Sergio Moore, the type nigga the cup of nigga testicles. Like he looked like he walk around just holding niggas pockets. He's a whole bro. That nigga is a blade. Sergio Moore is a blade, bro. I'm trying to tell you, something really wrong with him. Yeah, bro. Ryan looks smaller, bro. Like I see a difference. Like Alicia Bumgarner. You see how she look now? Do y'all see how Alicia Bumgarner look now? She look like she like a regular woman now. She was looking like Big Papa Pump, looking like Scott Steiner off the WWE and shit. Big ass bicep. Bitch was sitting on 32s and shit. And now she look like a regular ass woman that you see just walking around ShopRite or something. What the fuck is going on? Y'all don't pay that shit no mind. Like Ryan looked like a regular nigga now. He was all big as fuck the whole lead up to the devil. Now he all just regular. Now don't be surprised if Rolly put something on him, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Oh man. Oh man, I'm rooting for Rolly. I'm rooting for Rolly. I hope Rolly really. Yo, anonymous ain't shit. Alicia was walking around looking like Vladimir Klitschko. That's fucking insane. This nigga said Vladimir Klitschko. Yo, trying to tell y'all, bro. Like I be peeping this shit, and then when I say this out loud, niggas be like, "Oh man, you just hating on Ryan." Yeah, bro. Alicia Bumgarner was out here looking like Big Papa Pump. Y'all remember that nigga, bro? Nigga biceps, nigga kisses biceps and shit. Nigga, I'm like, what? Alicia was in that crowd looking like Scott Steiner, cuz I'm like, yo, ain't no fucking way. Bitch look like prime Triple H when he spit the water out in the ring and shit. Ain't no way. That shit crazy. Trying to tell you. He said that was the biggest nigga I ever seen. He was even big. Batista was a big motherfucker, bro. I seen Batista in person. Boy, like 300, all muscle. I seen the Great Khali and all them live in the flesh. Oh, like, bro, this nigga Great Khali, like, that shit ain't make no fucking sense, bro. Bro, Sergio Mora cannot do any commentary about Ryan without talking about his looks. Oh man, he's so handsome. He's so handsome. I just want to grab his sack. Is there any way I could grab his sack while he's boxing? No, Sergio, you can't do that. Well, I'm just saying he's a handsome guy. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, ain't no way.
His left nut is about as attractive as his left hook. Like, hey, yo, what the fuck? Like, this nigga Sergio is certified blade, bro. Sergio Horror. That's about to be his name. Be acting like a cold horror out in these streets. Sergio Horror. Cannot keep Ryan fucking shaft out his mouth. Shit, crazy. But yeah, bro, I'm watching the media workouts. James, Derek James was fundamentally sound guy. So he makes sure, they stepping into their punches, they snapping the punches out. Great. Derek is good at what he do. You feel what I'm saying? But even then, like Ryan Garcia looked like he wasn't too familiar with the pace and the rhythm, and he was even missing some of the pads. Like he had to constantly reset. Like you could tell, like Ryan just picked him back up last minute. Like, bro, Derek James, bro, like as a man, bro, like I'm sorry, I gotta keep bringing this up, but like as a man, bro, like how you feel just being a nigga like substitute teacher, bro. Like you done had you had one undisputed champion, one unified champion. You done dealt with multiple world champions, Jermell, Earl, Anthony Joshua. You done had top contenders, Frank Martin. You done had elite level dudes, and you working with Alicia Bumgarner right now. So you got another undisputed world champ in your stable, bro. How can you sit there and just be all cool with Ryan, buddy type shit when the nigga drops you after he tested positive and made you and the entire camp look bad? Tested positive for PEDs, then he left you. You stuck around. He left you recently. Was gonna go train with Canelo and them. Eddie said, "Fuck you." Eddie said, "Fuck you," for real, for real. I was like, "I'm gonna just focus on Canelo." Then you went back crawling to Derek James, and Derek James was like, "Oh yes, Abausa. Oh yes, Abausa. Yeah, I takes you back. I takes you back, and just make sure you give me my cornbread and you give me my cornbread and my little drumstick." And fucking embarrassing, bro. Like Derek James, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit kind of that shit kind of that shit's embarrassing. Like that's I ain't gonna lie. I'm disappointed in Derrick James. I thought he was more. I thought he held. I don't know why. I guess I just assumed, but just based off of how the way he moved and shit, like I just thought your morals was a little stronger than that. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, I mean, like you stood on business with Earl. You took him to court. You know what I'm saying? But this man, and that was about money. That was about money. You was tripping about the money, so you took him to court. Um, but then Ryan disrespect black people, went on a whole racist rant, uh, dropped you, dropped you when you stuck around for his racist ass, then came back crawling to you. It's like, bro, what the fuck? I guess Derrick James is all about the money. He don't give a fuck about, being black, anything like that. I'm not black, I'm DJ. Okay. That's what Derrick James be saying. I'm not black, I'm DJ. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Remember when OJ said that I'm not black, I'm OJ? I'm not black, I'm DJ. Seen the broke Ric Flair record tonight. He won 17. 17 what? World titles? And listen, John Cena, one of the greatest to ever step into the WWE. He deserved that. He was my first favorite wrestler ever, bro. That chain, when I was watching that Chain Gang, bro. You know what I mean? He stole like that little G unit type John. He had like the metal chain with the lock around it. You know what I mean?
That was my guy, bro. When he was doing rap battles and shit, like John Cena could rap a little bit too. Thugonomics, there you go. Word life. He got this one song. John Cena had this one song that was like the theme song of my childhood. It was called not to get off track. Uh it was like, excuse me for a minute while I lighten the mood. Just clap with me like the lightning do. Yeah. What the hell is that song called? I think it's called like.
Fuck no.
Oh shit, that's me. John Cena. R-Truth was a fucking goat. It says, was that news about Shakur dropping Mantrum true? Yes, that is true. According to Dan Rayfield. His sources, yeah. According he dropped Eddie Hearn, and he's gonna be used for this fight with William Zepeda. He's gonna be having uh Lou DiBella look over like the promotional side and make sure everything's going accordingly. Yeah, he got a song called Right Now. Fire, bro. So if y'all ever want to take the chance to listen to John Cena song, bro, this shit gives me nostalgia, bro. Or I can't play the whole thing because copyrights and shit. But John Cena right now, listen to that John and tell me that ain't a good song. But why you feel like that's a little fishy, brother? That's the thing. When promoters do it to fighters, nobody give a fuck. But the moment that a fighter do it to a promoter, it's fishy. I done seen promoters like Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, Golden Boy drop fighters after losing one fight. Y'all remember what Top Rank did to Elvis Rodriguez? Elvis Rodriguez came back crawling to him like a dickhead when he lost to Kenneth Sims. What they did to him? I don't know if Subriel left Eddie or Eddie left Subriel. I don't know how that shit went. But when Subriel lost to Liam Paro, what happened? He been saying Eddie best in the business a while. Yeah, I saw Elvis lost to Delgado too. They might drop him again and have him back crawling to PBC or something. See, that's that. See, look, he thought he was finessing. You see, this is what happens, bro. Like he's an idiot. Elvis is an idiot. That's why I lost respect for him because he a duck. He could have fought Subriel. That'd have been a bigger fight. You know what I mean? Probably would have made more money. I don't know. But he chose to fight Delgado instead, saying that Subriel don't bring nothing to the table, as if he was more accomplished than Subriel, and then loses to Delgado. So now you back at the drawing board, hoping and praying that uh that Top Rank don't drop your stupid ass again. You feel what I mean? So should have fought Subriel while you had the chance, because if you would have beat Subriel, probably would have been number one in the IBF, and but you wouldn't have beat Subriel anyway. You would have got stopped. So it is what it is. You would have been fucked regardless. Let me see. Rashidi Ellis. What about him? Word on the street, they was gonna do another Queensberry versus Matchroom, and they was gonna put Jadier on him. Okay, and then what?
Why you saying that like Javier like this pit bull that's unchained and he can't be man? Javier is a fucking turkey. Javier ain't shit. Did you see his last fight? He's trash. For real, for real. Why y'all gassing him up? Y'all gonna get that boy Javier hurt, giving him all that clout. He gonna fight somebody and get steamrolled. I don't know why he talking about they gonna put Javier on him. And then what? They gonna send Javier his way and he ain't gonna come the fuck back. Didn't Rashidi get dropped by PBC? I don't know. Did he? Bro, Javier is not like that, bro. Trust me, if he was nice, I'd say it. That nigga is trash. Shakur, that would have been Josh Padley might give Javier some work for real. For everybody keep talking about, man, why Shakur fought, why he chose Josh Padley over Herrera? Man, there was people talking about he ducking Herrera. Who the fuck is Herrera for Shakur to duck? Shakur is a WBC champion of the world. We didn't know who the fuck Javier was until they offered, until they lined him up as a possible opponent for Shakur. Y'all ain't know who Javier was. I swear to God, 98% of y'all did not know who Javier Herrera was until he was mentioned as a possible opponent for Shakur's Floyd Schofield replacement. Keep it a buck. Javier would have got lit up, probably would have got stopped by accumulation. He probably would have went out the same way. Yeah, check out that John Cena song, man. It's called Right Now. The music video's on YouTube. It's old, bro. Like that shit back from like 2007, 2006. Go check that shit out, bro. That was one. Remember when MySpace was popping? I don't know if y'all old enough for that. Fucking on MySpace, that was one of my songs. You know, on MySpace, you could have like a profile song. Like you click on somebody's profile and the song start playing. Right Now was one of my joints, but I was a huge John Cena fan, bro. I stopped watching wrestling when I was like around 12, 11, 12. You know what I mean? But John Cena, I was a huge fan. John Cena, a GOAT though, man. He one of the greatest to ever wrestle. So salute. You said Javier a killer. You got a lot to learn, my brother. You got a lot to learn. If he a killer, why don't he go fight Abdullah Mason? He want to go prove himself. Go fight a new contender or something. These motherfuckers be wanting to get world title shots without fighting any contenders, anybody notable. Why don't y'all just go ahead and fight Abdullah Mason? He looking for some smoke right now. They trying to line him up with Nakatila. I don't even want to see him fight Nakatila for real, for real. Nakatila, easy work. If Javier this bad motherfucker that y'all claim him to be, why don't he just go ahead and fight Abdullah Mason? Let's see how that shit go. If he beat Abdullah Mason, then he could go fight a Shakur or something like that. Then I advocate for him. But y'all be trying to get these motherfuckers strikes before they earn them. This is the era that we in. Motherfuckers is getting credit for being killers and they ain't never killed nothing. What was we talking about? Like, and I was telling y'all Boots was a killer before he fought anybody notable because I seen him beat notable niggas' asses in the gyms that we all be watching on TV. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, that's a different situation. But these niggas ain't never put in no work, ain't never beat nobody. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what is we even talking about? You got Edwin outboxing Keyshawn. That's a controversial take. I disagree with that, but you entitled to your opinion. Carl Moretti says Shushu 100% fights for the WBC next, whether it's Fulton or Ray Vargas. If he moves up, hey man, it's clear, bro. You know,
Tyrone done gave Shushu the green light. I ain't never heard Shushu call anybody out until like his most recent fights, bro. So they most recently just gave him the green light and he feeling confident, he ready to go. You know, look, man, Shushu not that young to be just sitting around waiting, and nah. Breezy, I can't speak on sparring, unfortunately. But Boost done beat up some notable niggas that y'all know of in them gyms. He was doing that when he was 17, 18 years old, making niggas cry, making grown men cry in sparring sessions. I was there, seen it with my own eyes. Or the tire lost to my boy Tevin Farmer. That's what people say. We're talking about Espinoza going up to 130 soon. Do you see how big Espinoza is? It would make sense why he moving up. I'm surprised he can make 126. They gave Shushu and Xander the green light at the same time. Xander ain't never called nobody out neither. As soon as they get in the green light, I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy. Like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? Since when you became so vocal? You know what I mean? These fucking allergies killing me, y'all. My fault. Yeah, I can't speak on who Boots beat up in sparring, but I've seen it happen. Stopping niggas too. I seen Boots stop like cruiserweights, bro. Like established cruiserweights. Not even exaggerating. Like breaking eardrums. Like all that. So when I be hearing niggas talking about Boots, I don't know where this came from. I don't know if that was Brian Norman goofy ass or what. Talking about Boots can't punch. I'm like, are you out your fucking mind? I need nasal spray. It ain't a nasal problem. My eyes burning. I think it's that dumbass cat just laying on my bed. That's why I let him in my room. But let me see. Like and subscribe, absolutely. Yeah, Vargas, man. I don't know, man. People be wanting so much of an edge from a size perspective that they willing to hurt themselves in order to do so, or come in or take the chance of being weaker or dehydrated or drained. Like, bro, if you really believe in yourself, and moving up 4 pounds shouldn't be an issue. Like, look what it did for Raymond Ford, bro. Raymond Ford has looked phenomenal since his move up. Looks a lot more energetic, looks stronger, looks more confident in his gas tank, all of that. You know what I mean? Niggas be scared to take the chance, bro. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna go take me a shower and lay my ass down for the night. I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody that's in the building. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe button, that'd be very much appreciated. Until then, this is Mazuma TV. Y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.